everybody, and welcome to our Thursday morning edition of Title Talk. I am your host, Drew, and I'm here with, always, our co-host, Amy.
Hi, guys.
And we have a special guest here today. Yay!
Talk in the middle.
She waves. We're not going to give her any name. We're not even going to introduce you. This is Rhonda. She is a Roxanne. I knew that. I knew that. I was looking and reading. This is Roxanne, and she is a realtor with, go ahead and tell us.
Village
Realty. Yes, outstanding. And she's going to come here today and talk to us about some great fun things that she's been doing. And we're going to talk a little bit about the market. We're going to go through our fun facts and talk a little bit about our
Normal Thursday
Inspired Gives Back and
Yeah.
question and answers and all those great things. So we're going to just kick right off and get this thing going and start asking Roxanne questions
After
right out of the
question,
gate.
after question, after.
We're just gonna, it's gonna be like an interrogation, and she's gonna love us. So, thank you for joining us. First of all, it's really great to see our
A
people.
new and friendly face.
Yeah, it's people
cool.
who kind of chat with us on our Title Talks, and then they become guests. It was like last week to boom now,
It
right?
was.
This is outstanding. So, before we kind of get really deep into things, I'm always intrigued by what excites you to get you into this market. Like, how did you want to become a realtor?
So,
Right.
I guess I'd always kind of had held positions that kind of were in the realm. So in college, I studied housing,
Okay.
housing patterns throughout Chicago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat.
So I actually, my degree's in public policy. So
Okay.
I studied, housing policy, things like that. And then
How neat is that?
in my career, I've typically held positions. So I worked as a case manager for a homeless prevention agency.
Very cool.
And then I was a program manager for folks in SILAs, which are community integrated living arrangements for folks
Wow.
with disabilities in the community.
Holy cow.
So,
That's cool.
yeah, it's awesome, but, it's social services.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really fulfilling, but I got really burnt out.
Yep.
Lots and lots of long hours.
Yeah.
So.
And you can't do that forever.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
no,
and
for sure.
I'm like an emotional person, so if I like that.
Oh yeah, it takes a toll on you.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was like, okay, when I was looking for a kind of shift in career,
Yeah.
real estate just kind of seemed like a smooth transition.
Wow. That
We'll need to
That's
talk more
deep.
about that off of
yeah. Because I
that's
think there's
really
some
intriguing.
interesting opportunities with what we do as partnering with some of these different ventures that we're trying to do with Inspired Title Gives Back. I mean, you have
Yes.
some history in that and some background in that. That's interesting. We were talking a little bit off camera and just getting to know Roxanne a little bit more and kind of finding out more about her. But she held that one for this,
Yeah.
which is great.
I know.
Nice drop.
Talk about
That-
sideswipe.
Yeah, that's like a mic drop and walk out.
I
I'm done. There's nothing more to say. That was pretty strong.
That's
So
one of the things that kept me interested in listening when I was watching Title Talk. I was like, oh my gosh, these philanthropic efforts, that's awesome.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
That's so
yes,
cool.
the philanthropic efforts, we're stand by. We're going to talk about that some more too. So, what would you give? What kind of advice would you give to some of the newer agents that maybe want to get into the market as to the how-to and things to do like that?
Okay, so I have a couple different things.
Good.
I think it's so important. First of all, I think the number one thing that I tell people, I've actually had a few calls from relatives or friends or whatever that will just call and ask me about certain things. And I think the first thing would be when you're interviewing with brokerages, yes, they're interviewing you, but
Yeah.
it's important to see it as an opportunity for you to interview them. Because you really want to make sure that you're going to be you're going to fit
A
in
good
there, you're
fit,
gonna like
right.
everything, right?
For
So
sure.
I think it's super important to have specific questions that you want them to answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe interview with a few different places, right? And then do some comparison.
Yeah.
And see,
I
maybe
think
No,
that's
that
a very good idea.
yeah.
When we had
That
Matt
sounds-
Barsick here, he said the same exact thing. So it's
Yeah.
crazy that's a common thread among realtors. Like, make sure you find what's best for you, not just
And there's a lot of
what's best for
different
them.
Absolutely.
opportunities out there. They offer different things, right? And different agencies, different brokers have different programs, right? And how they help you guys as realtors, right? So that's interesting, and I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
And I think that's some valuable knowledge for you guys if you're considering to get into the real estate market. Everybody just thinks it's HGTV and I can make millions right out of the gate, and it is.
That's what we're doing.
Oh, right, exactly. We'll put the disclaimer above the head that says, this is really not happening.
This is a lie.
Yeah, this is really not happening. So, and something else that is interesting that I side note to that is when people, I think people come to us for sure, probably to a realtor as well, with expectations of saying, well, I saw this on TV. They open it up with that comment and conversation of, well, they did it like this,
And it's
why
almost
can't you?
Yeah, and it's so hard to break that from, to
Yeah.
take that away from somebody's brains when they're like,
The
but,
habit.
but this is how it happened. But this is what I
Right.
saw.
Yeah, that is so true. So again, we are getting to know our guest, which is Roxanne from the wonderful Village Realty. I like to go into our real estate story of the day, and those things kind of really have involved a lot of different things. We've talked about trends, and we've talked about the market, we've talked about do's and don'ts, we've talked foreclosure, et cetera. Today, I have some ideas about things that are what we should be grateful for in 2020 with regard to the market.
Yeah.
And obviously, Roxanne has said this very well, that the booming home sales.
Yeah.
I think with COVID, the market has just gone absolutely crazy. And I often
insane.
thought the wonderment for me is people are sitting at home. What makes you sell your house by sitting at home? I don't
Because you're so sick
understand.
of looking at the four walls that you've been staring at for 20
Yeah,
years.
you need a change.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, one of the things that we're all grateful for sitting here is that the real estate market has been booming. It's been really wonderful. Another thing that has been something to be grateful in 2020 is for the record low mortgage rates. I mean, we've been with refis,
Refis of
out of our
refis.
mind.
That,
Yes,
Yeah. Like
we've done refis
from like
numerous times.
April. Yeah. From April to doing it again now. It's just, it's
repetitive.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been wonderful. So the record low mortgage rates. If you guys haven't refinanced your house, now would be the time before the whole political change takes place. And I think now is a really great opportunity to get in there because the numbers are starting with threes, so they're pretty impressive, and you might be able to even see under 3 depending on your different lenders and such. The seller's equity, and you probably have seen this too, Roxanne, in that what people are able to sell their house for
Right.
has been greatly increased because of the interest rates.
Absolutely.
Right? So they're the monies that they're getting back at these closings are probably better for them to go out and buy the other homes. A lot of people, and I've been in these conversations with clients and colleagues as well that say, well, gee, the home prices are going down, so therefore, my home price is decreasing, so I'm not gonna be able to buy another home. That's right, because that home that you're gonna buy, that one's not decreasing, just yours is. I mean, it's such a silly statement, but it's all across the board, it's market specific. So if your home value is going down, so
Everyone
is
else's.
everyone else's.
Right.
It's not just, it's specific to yours. Let's talk about this one for a minute, technology. What kind of changes have you made as a realtor in the COVID days?
I mean, it's crazy just having to really change things, not, so many showings anymore. A lot of folks don't necessarily want the traffic going in and out of their houses, so, now we have a lot of virtual showings where it's kind of like a Google, if you go on Google Street View.
Sure,
Yeah.
You
sure.
can do that in somebody's house basically, so.
So do you like lead that, or do you just kind of let the people go do it on their own?
Yeah, it's already done, like the
Okay.
photographer does it and
Yeah.
then it's already in
That's
the
crazy.
house. So it's things that obviously, like you said, you have to adapt to, but it also in the same hand makes it a lot more convenient for folks
Yeah.
to look for
Sure.
places
Right, no,
too.
for sure.
Yeah, so kind of, instead of going to a couple showings and then winging something out, you get a lot of stuff out of the way with that capability.
Right in front of you.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you have that and then, just lots of different Zoom and Google
Right,
Meets are
right.
everybody's best friend.
Oh,
right
Zoom.
now.
Oh, Zoom,
Zoom.
Yeah.
Are you doing less driving to people's homes and meeting your clients there and doing walkthroughs? Are those still prominent?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, because, even though it is convenient,
Yep.
just like we were talking about earlier, people want to see.
You gotta see it, touch it,
the
feel it,
house,
right,
yeah.
right.
So-
Because I know that some realtors have reported that that they've just
That face to face
that
with your
yeah,
realtor.
I mean, it's the realtor will walk the house
Yes.
for the client.
Yeah, so there's a lot of sellers, there's so many different stipulations, right? Because what I'm comfortable with and the next person is comfortable with are
Sure.
two different things,
For
so.
sure.
You know, there's a lot of people, like you said, they'll request only one person at a time.
Mhm.
Only, a lot of things, you know, only the realtor touch lights and doorknobs, or, you
Yep.
know, so really just people, you know, just to make people comfortable and.
So that's a good note to take here. You know, if you guys are out there thinking about selling your home, realtors are very cautious about that. They're very aware of your personal space. Not all of the realtors are out there, you know, going through your cabinets and doing the things. I mean, they're just heeding the thoughts that you guys are putting out there, the restrictions and the boundaries, because again, they want to respect your space. They want to respect the opportunity of you know, your home. So you're trying to sell your home and the realtors are taking their strangers through your home. So yeah, you want to be cautious. And this is something that technology today has allowed, with you guys walking through and doing like a virtual tour.
Right.
Even like you said earlier, the pictures, the photographers now, they put together such wonderful pictures, and
you could almost do like a
360
walkthrough of them, like you click on those dots and you
Yeah.
can like do 360 views.
It
Like,
is,
it's
it's just like you're
unreal.
walking around.
It
yeah.
is
It really
crazy,
is.
yeah.
Again, that's the technology piece that has just advanced so much.
I feel like the last year is what technology would have been 5 years from now. Like without COVID, I feel like we
Agreed.
wouldn't have been to this point until 2025.
Well, and
Yes.
even in our business, I mean, we got the DocuSigns, and you got the
Right.
mobile
Oh my
notaries, and we've got the remote closings and the curbside stuff. I mean, we've just adapted. We've fast forwarded 2 or 3 years,
Yeah,
maybe
just-
5, and I don't think we're going to go backwards.
I don't think
I think
so.
this is it. This is what we're doing. I'm not going to use the term that everybody's using. I just think that what we get right now is what it is.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah, and you know, maybe over the next few years, when there is some kind of sense of reality again, we're gonna still be doing the things the same way, because we found out that we can.
Right.
They work.
And in
Yeah.
a lot of situations, it's more efficient.
It
Yes.
is, for
Yes,
sure.
I
No.
mean, unfortunately, a lot of people have lost their jobs from this because of the efficiency piece. But, you know, businesses have realized that, wow, people can work from home, or I don't
Right.
need 7 people, I need 3. And that's unfortunate, but it's what's happening today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is crazy. So some other things here too is the affirmation of your value. Like, the value of your homes has been something that we really should be grateful for, because home values finally have come back to a level of stability, I guess, because when we went through the foreclosure world of 2008, and the marketplace was just all over the board as far as values go, and appraisers were very afraid to put a number on anything because of the fact that you know, the whole mortgage crisis happened.
Right.
So these appraisers were just getting beaten up, so they were undervaluing a lot of these homes. I think now, because of the demand that's out there, there's been a lot more of a stability
Yeah.
happening, and people are now starting to feel comfortable with the value of their home.
I'm even noticing that in the craziness of these refis, like some of these houses, like the numbers that they're putting on them versus what people are actually refining. Like
Sure.
it's like this is one of the first times I've seen a home value in a refi, like a refi of a mortgage lower than the home value. Like
Mhm.
that's a very rare thing. Like
Yeah.
it used to be like pretty equal
There's
within
some balance there.
But
Yeah.
yeah, now home values definitely have that higher thing and the mortgage is less, which is weird.
When you are out assessing a property value, are you feeling any difference in the stability of that? I mean, as far as quoting saying that the value of this house is X, and you're doing an analysis, right? You're
Yeah.
looking around the area, and maybe when you first started a year ago, the values were like way down here, right? Are you seeing kind of an influx in that?
Yeah, and it was difficult at first, right? Because I was like, how do I comp the? How do I
Yes.
run comps on
For
this
sure.
now? But luckily, because of the avid sales and everything still occurring now, it's not this time. It's a lot easier.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, there's a
easier to do
lot more.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in the beginning there it was.
Yeah,
Sexy.
and that's reality, and what you just speak is truth, because you can only value the house at what's being done around
Around
you.
you.
Right.
And
And
if nothing's happening, then what do you do?
or in 2007 and 8, everything was a foreclosure, so
Everything's-
you're
yeah.
valuing it off of that foreclosure, and you're sitting there going, oh my, what
No.
am I going to do?
Right.
So people took a beating in that period of time. It's really crazy to know though that the cyclical part of what the real estate market is, it's an up and down thing, but if you look at it in bigger chunks, there's a balance there. And it's a nice balance of positivity. And as much as the volatility happens, the positivity
It's still kind of,
equals out at the end of the time. It's just,
Yeah.
can you got to ride that roller coaster
Yep.
and, withstand the ups and downs of what this is going to do. And
Yeah.
a lot of folks that can't handle that ride, they get out. And that's what the market does, is it really kind of weeds out those people that aren't able to
Yeah.
sustain that information. So, you guys have any stories or anything that you guys want to share?
do you want to share your story about one of your closings that was super fun and one
Yeah.
of them that was like your first closing? Do you remember your first closing?
First closing was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. So no funny stories, no. Just
So
a nice normal closing for your first
well, I
time.
had a 5-hour closing recently.
Wow, who would ever do
Yeah.
that?
So you've had both. You've had the really easy, really smooth, really, and it was something she couldn't control. It was, just a miscommunication kind of thing, but it's out there, and
It happens.
she sat there with her client the entire time because
Way to
Yeah.
support.
Nice
them.
real
Way to
details.
support.
I will say that the closing was here and you guys were so awesome and really helped everybody throughout the way. So
Thank
I
you.
couldn't imagine being at another
Yes.
company and having
Thanks.
that 5-hour
Thanks.
Well, we provide snacks and, we
Some of that
lager, maybe throw some lagers out there. right,
but that's for Friday. That's for Friday fun day only.
That is fun.
But yeah, no crazy one that's like your most memorable one.
That one is recent. Yeah, it was
A 5-hour, yeah.
Memorable.
We try to keep them that way. That's good stuff too, for sure. Guys, that's our wonderful real estate story of the day. We talk about the technology, what we're grateful for. I think we have so many things to be grateful for, even with everything that's going on in 2020. You wake up every day and you have a job and you have something to do. This market we've been very blessed in,
Yeah.
and we're fortunate to continue to go to work every day and deal with the fine people that we deal with, and working through with you guys in a really finding the positivity in a negative world is important, and what we just spoke of is very positive. I mean, the real estate market being strong and healthy and good people in it, such as Roxanne, and helping you guys out. That's what's important to the growth of a lot of different industries and a lot of different businesses, because this isn't a survival of the fittest situation where you just have to go do the deceptive things and the egregious things and talk about just greed. Here's a good opportunity to sell your home, buy a home, take advantage of interest rates, work with some fun people, and let them walk you through these processes. And speaking on the negative side of that, this is just a question, maybe you don't have the answer to it, but have you dealt with anybody yet in a foreclosure or a forbearance situation? Do you have any clients, or has that been something that you've even touched on yet?
No, luckily
Okay.
not for
Okay.
me.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's a whole nother conversation to have, which, like, I can see it in your face, it pains us to
Yeah.
even do them. I mean,
Yeah,
Amy
it
gets
is.
these deals and you're going, oh my, this is terrible. However, they're out there, and I think we're gonna start seeing these things here, coming
It's the worst
coming
part
down
of
the
the show.
line. It really is.
And I'm not even just saying
No,
that. Like
I-
it's every time I see a short sale or foreclosure, I'm like, do I have to?
Yeah,
Can I-
it sickens me, but if you guys are in those situations, I mean, Roxanne can help you with those, and this is stuff that she definitely knows the marketplace to say, hey, let's work together and get you out of this, get you out from underneath this rock and take this pressure and stress off you. So you have options, and contacting your realtors is really one of those options. Contacting your real estate professionals.
Yeah.
We're all here to help out that process. It's not about the greed of taking a benefit out of a great marketplace. It's being a great marketplace and doing some good things for
Yeah.
people around us. So this has really been a good time. I
Yeah.
thank you so much
Thank you for
for
coming.
joining us here today. If you guys want to get a hold of Roxanne, like I said, we will absolutely have her contact information and all of her vitals to post and on YouTube and Facebook. Please get a hold of her and your real estate needs. You can always get a hold of us here at Inspired Title. We are the title company that cares, and we are the title company of the ages. we can't predict the future, but we can certainly protect you from it, and that is something that we've been talking a little bit about. But next week, we're going to have our philanthropist on to talk more about the Inspire Title Gives, and you certainly don't want to miss that. Until next week, thank you again, Roxanne, for joining us. My name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.